One of my first jobs when I got out of high school was a food runner at a local restaurant in a tourist trap type town, Mystic, Connecticut. I got my first taste of the restaurant industry when working there. Most people should work in a restaurant. You have all types of job skills that you've got to obtain while you're there. It was a great experience out there. It was very busy during the summer. You start hanging out with the people who you're in the restaurant with, right? Now, I was front of the house. I was not back of the house. Back of the house meaning cooks, chefs, dishwashers. I was front of the house, servers, bartenders, food runners, expediters. While I was going to art school, while I was going to the University of Connecticut, while I was having a kid at the age of 21, I got a job right down the road from me. Right down the road from my house is a place called Mohegan Sun Casino. It's one of the world's largest casinos. When I was in Little League, my town was just some boring little town. Now there's a world-class casino, and it's been there for 20 some odd years. My restaurant career essentially took me to Michael Jordan's sports bar or sport cafe. At Mohegan Sun, you've got Michael Jordan's sport cafe and the steakhouse right next to it. Much faster paced, crazy busy. One of the things I noticed immediately, it wasn't just smoking weed and having shift drinks anymore. It was anything you wanted was under that roof. This is where I ate my first Percocet. This is where I went down the journey of addiction or started the journey of addiction when it comes to actively using. So I want to talk about how bad drug use, alcoholism, things like that are in our restaurant industry. You guys aren't going to believe me. I got my second DUI. My first DUI, I was parked in a car. It wasn't as bad as the second one. Now, mind you, this is 3 months after my first DUI. When we got out of work at midnight, 12:30, 1 o'clock, we would go party, right? This is gonna make me throw up in my mouth. I one night did 6 pint glass mind erasers. Needless to say, I got my second DUI. I had to make an instant change. It was the last day I had a drink. I haven't had a drink since 2012. Now, instead of recreationally using or eating a Percocet here and there, it was everywhere at the casino. It was so accessible. You've got guys behind the line that drink. You've got managers that drink. You've got servers, bartenders that do shots while they're working. It's a very, very hard problem to solve. People are sneaky. Bartenders are slick. If you're a full-blown, degenerate alcoholic like I was, when I was at my worst, I would take those little 5-hour energy shots. I would take them and I would save all the bottles. I took them home and I filled them with vodka. Yeah, I was feeding my alcoholism. Many of my peers, my friends, other people in the industry that I know, DUIs, accidents. It's absolutely crazy when you're in a casino. There's alcohol everywhere. There's drugs everywhere. Gambling, women. I was actually banned from the casino for a year because my drug addict activity led to me being broke and me doing something insanely stupid to get fired. But the things that I saw as a whole with this type of work culture, I sometimes woke up and wouldn't remember driving home. I wouldn't remember leaving work. I was so drunk one time when I got home, I hid my money somewhere. I looked for this money for 3 days straight. Thankfully, I worked like a Monday, Tuesday shift and made like another $1,000. It saved me. It was in the back of my closet, buried beneath everything. I don't know who was after me that night or who I thought was after me that night, but the fact is I put that knot of money in my closet, buried for the last pair of shorts that you see in there. Now, this is after I switched my freaking habit from alcohol to opiates. The work culture of restaurants. We work a lot with the service industry because we do indexed universal life insurance policies for them. If you're a server bartender watching this, tell me if this doesn't make sense to you. As employees in a restaurant, we're tips based, right? So if we don't work, we don't earn. If we get sick, we can't show up. There's no sick pay. We don't get paid, period. It's legitimately the perfect policy for a restaurant worker. I was in the bathroom at the back of Jordan's, right? On this little tiny table, I had a Percocet that I was crushing up on a table. And I pushed so hard on it, I ripped the table straight out of the wall. Sheetrock goes everywhere, table goes everywhere. I'm out here looking for the Percocet, not caring that I have 4 tables. It's Saturday night. I'm busy as hell. I got to make money to feed my kids. This is how powerful addiction is. And this is one of the most rampant industries, because if you're serving or you're a bartender and you need to run around all night, or you want to work a double shift, a little cocaine or Adderall may do the trick for you. When you get home and you want to unwind, some wine, some Xanax, couple shots and a Xanny looks quite appealing. Smoking weed, after hours drinks. Depending on the crews that we're working, we had like 4 or 5 stops after we left Jordan's. We need to have a blow and go system on our steering wheels. I had a blow and go in my car. Your car would not start. If you had it, reported back to, it was a nightmare. I remember one morning I was bringing my son to school and I had gloves on. The top of the blow and go, it reads your body temperature, it reads your skin, and I had my finger on top of it, but I had the glove on and it wouldn't read. If you're struggling with mental health, if you're struggling with substance abuse, alcohol, it's time. I just had a baby girl. She's premature. This little tiny package has put so many things into perspective for me. My sons, we're all good. It's just time, guys. You don't need a little premature baby to just stop the madness. Yes, you're gonna withdraw. Yes, you're gonna feel like crap for a week or 2 or 3 or maybe even a month, but it's worth getting through. You're gonna need support and you're gonna need help. That's why you go to a facility where you're there, where people can check your vitals, where you can't really leave unless you AMA, which basically stops you from coming back. It's a lot easier said than done when it comes to saying, oh, just stop, right? If I could stop, don't you think I would stop? I was naive. I had no clue. My parents raised me to the point where I was never around these types of drugs. If I did know at that point in time, I would have never taken it. If the person who handed me the Percocet was like, hey bro, you gotta take a couple days off of these things. You can't have them every day because your body's gonna start to crave them. It's gonna feel like there's ants crawling all over you at all times. You're not gonna be able to sleep even though you're dead tired and have zero motivation. It's legitimate torture. I remember the first couple nights that I was withdrawing, I had restless legs. My buddy was like, just go take another Percocet, it'll go away. Okay, cool. Boom. I needed to stop right then and there, but I didn't know. So we've got to educate. If you're struggling, go to your best friend, go to your mom, go to your girlfriend, boyfriend. If they get mad at you for you telling them that you need help, they're not your damn friend and they're not a good family member. I can tell you the first second those words leave your mouth and it's off your chest, that even feels good. Gordon Ramsay is the world's biggest, baddest entrepreneur / restaurateur. I've seen him test the back of toilets for cocaine residue, and he found it. There's a woman, Sarah Webster Norton. She brought to light that naloxone, which would be Narcan, needs to be at every restaurant. You have to have Narcan everywhere. I was just eating at a restaurant, and I've seen 2 people, 2 separate restaurants, 2 separate places, overdose. You never know where you're gonna be when someone falls out. Even someone who's smoking weed, you might accidentally whack some weed with some fent in it. Boom. On the floor. What we become in the restaurant industry is you're basically a functioning addict. You're a functioning addict or an alcoholic. You can go about your day every day, handle your business, and still get high and still drink. Now, there's someone near and dear to me, drank his entire life, has never gotten in trouble, and has never had an issue really. That's why it continues. Functioning alcoholics and addicts are still just a ticking time bomb. There's no way it's gonna end good if they continue life that way. How is it gonna end good? You're gonna go down the path of health issues, or you're just gonna hit rock bottom. The restaurant industry is a breeding ground for functioning addicts and alcoholics. It's the culture of the restaurant, the nightclub scene. I saw multiple times people driving the wrong way on Mohegan Sun Boulevard, which is the road that takes you everywhere within the casino. Whoever had a big night would buy the drinks. Why do we do this? Why do we drink? Why do we do drugs? I'll tell you what my mind told me when I first started. When I ate the first 10 milligram Percocet that I've ever had my entire life, 1, I threw up, and then 2, I felt like Superman. I felt amazing. I was more sociable, felt like I worked a whole lot harder. And now my brain's like, bro, if you take these, you're gonna work harder and make more money. Dumbass, you're spending money on it. When we think these things and we start this, people don't notice for a long time. It took 3 years of me actively using and actively being stupid for my parents to catch on. From the beginning, physically you still look the same. Financially, things are most likely the same. It's a very slow trickle effect. At least it was for me when I switched from alcohol to Percocets. Nobody out of the crew or nobody in your circle is going to say, hey, bro, this is a little bit much. I don't think we should be doing 6 pint glass mind erasers, which is probably 60 shots in an hour. There was people with me. Don't you think you would stop somebody? If someone is literally drinking this much vodka or mind eraser or whatever, don't you think you should stop them? Because that person obviously doesn't have the power to stop themselves. They're either gonna die, crash, kill somebody. There was a guy who left our casino who went backwards on the highway and killed a girl in the Peace Corps. It is a powerful, powerful substance. Alcohol is the worst substance of all of them. American Addiction Centers did a study, and it says 19% of hospitality workers use illicit drugs monthly, higher than any other industry. 17% have a substance use disorder. 12% engage in heavy alcohol use. 20% of our restaurant world. I've lived it. I've seen it. I know it. There was a restaurant in New Haven, Connecticut. You just had to go into the bathroom and say a word and someone gave you cocaine. How do I know this? Because Mike was an idiot at one point of his life. A big, bald-headed moron who now gets to talk about this stuff. I want people to feel what I get to feel now, which is the freedom of these substances. Being ripped down by these drugs and by this substance is one of the worst things ever. It's your best friend. You love it more than anything else. Over your kids, over your mom, over your dad, over your work, school, your girlfriend. It takes you from everything. Driving and seeing somebody panhandling or hurting, give me some food or money or I need work. They want a $20 bill so they can go get half of a bundle to go get high. Again, how do I know this? I never panhandled, but addict brains think alike. How can we change an industry where a fifth of it is getting high? We have to strengthen the laws. In a restaurant, you have to strengthen the policy. When I was actually at Jordan's or afterwards, if you drug test the restaurant industry, look at the stat. You're losing a fifth of your workforce. Your best bartender might be the person that in the bathroom. They don't care. Let them smoke, let them snort. I'm making money. Guys, if you like this content, hit the subscribe. Let's grow, criticize, comment. Let me know how you're feeling. If you're in the restaurant industry, throw some comments in there. I want to know what it's like in your restaurant. I want to know if we've got, little ladies at Denny's rolling around the restaurant at 100 miles an hour. So drop in the comments and fill me in what's going on your restaurant. Or now with work, I'm licensed in 48 states. I get calls from all over the place. I got a call from, said Eugene, Oregon on my phone. It was a random drug addict. He was like, bro, I saw your video randomly. You legitimately spoke to me and I'm going to detox next week. That one person right there is why I'll spend hours and money to do this. When you got a business, a baby, you're in recovery, keeping me busy is keeping me clean. If you're in a restaurant and your server has white powder around their nose, the food's good, right? Just make sure your steak's medium rare. Make sure the baked potato's hot. Make sure your drinks are full. Now, if the service sucks, service sucks. Maybe that person needs to go do some, I'm just kidding. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Guys, have a blessed night. Baby Sage is good. Happy Easter. The kids are older now. I didn't have to dress up like a Easter bunny this morning and bounce around like a dumbass and drop off baskets. But happy Easter, guys. We're going to go see the baby tonight. I love you. Thank you.